Section 5.4, Sales Tax and Discount. In Newfoundland and Labrador where we live, the sales tax on everything we buy is 13%. So what that really means is for every $1, or 100 cents if you want to think of it that way, so for every dollar we pay 13 cents extra. So something that would cost $1 exactly at Walmart will actually cost you $1.13 because we have to add 13 cents on for every dollar. So for every 100, 13 out of 100, we end up paying in sales tax. So that's what 13% means, 13 out of 100. Of course, as a decimal, 13 out of 100 is 0.13, because this is 13 in the hundredths place. So that's something that was done earlier in the unit. Okay, anytime you get a percent, it just simply means out of 100. So let's look at this item right here. We've got something from Future Shop here, a nice iPod, and it costs you $148.99. So we want to know how much will you pay with tax added on. Well, remember what tax was. It was 13%. Okay. So all you have to do to find out how much extra you're paying is put in your money amount, $148.99, times it by your percent, but of course you're not going to put your percent in percent, you're going to put it as a decimal. So we'll go 0.13. Okay, that's 13 hundredths. So when you multiply that together using the trusty old calculator, let's see what we get here. Okay, so when we go ahead and do that, we'll end up with $148.99 times 0.13, that's 13%, and we're going to pay $19 and 36 cents. Well, the next one is an 8, so we're going to round it up to 37 cents. So that's how much extra we're going to pay. So let's take what we were going to pay without tax, so $148.99, plus what we're going to pay with the extra tax added on, which is $19.37. So let's go ahead and add those up. So $148.99 plus our tax, which was $19.37, equals $168.36. So our total is $68. Pays to double check. So $168 and, of course, 36 cents. So that's in total what we are going to pay for this iPod. So the easy way to do it is just multiply your cost of your item times your tax, which is 13%, and then you'll see how much extra you're going to pay. And just add it on to your cost. Now, what about 20% off? Now, 20% off doesn't mean 20% extra. Well, again, let's figure out what 20% is of our cost. So if we got $148.99, and I want to times it by 20%, well, remember 20% is going to be 20 over 100, because that's what percent means, out of 100. As a decimal, that will be 0.20. So we're going to times that by 0.20. So let's take the old trusty calculator, and we'll multiply $148.99 times 20%, which is 0.20. Oops. And our answer is $29.79, but there's an 8 after the 79 cents, so we round it up to 80 cents. So it's going to be an extra $29.80 off the price. So when they say off the price, we're going to take away. So $148.99, take away $29.80. And if we go ahead and work that out with our calculator, so $148.99 take away what we're getting off, $29.80. This is our price that we're going to pay for our item before tax. So $119.19. That's 20% off. Now don't forget, this is before we add tax on. You always take your percent off before you add your tax. So if we want to calculate how much extra to add now for the tax, we'd have to times this amount by 13%, which is 0.13, and then just simply add it on. So let's take 119.19 times 0.13, and the answer is you're going to pay an extra $15.49. Okay, so we'll add that on to our price. So we'll add that on to 119.19, and the total we're going to pay for this item is $134.68 for this iPod. So 20% off is a pretty good deal. So whenever you see off, let's take it away. But don't forget to add your sales tax at the very end. All right, let's look at this one here. It says at a discount of 25%, skateboards are on sale for $135. What was the original price? Well, one of the hints, if you got 25% off, right, this is 25% off. What is the total amount of percent we are paying? We're only paying 100. 100% is all of it. If we've got 25% off, then really the price we're paying is only 75% of the original cost. Okay, so this is 75% of the original cost. Now the way to work that out is simply using the formula. What is our percent on the bottom? Okay, so our percent goes on the bottom, and we're going to take our, we're going to take our money, $135, and we're going to divide it by the percent so that we know exactly how much 1% will be. So 135, 135, we're going to divide it by 75%, and we will get the cost per percent, or for 1%. So it's going to be $1.80 per 1%. But we don't want to know what 1% is. We want to know what 100% of the cost was. So we'll just times that by 100, and we will know then what 100% of the cost is. And the answer is $180 was the original price. Okay, so just to summarize what you do, you always want to find out if you're given a certain percent, you're told what the percent is that this amount is, you just want to take the money or take the speed or whatever it is and divide it by the percent that you're given. So if it's 25%, you divide it by 25%. If it's 75%, you divide it by 75%. Okay, so you take your amount, divide it by the percent, and you will get the amount, per 1%. and then you just simply times that by 100 to get 100%. So that's all you do, because you're always going to want to find out per 1%, and then times it by 100 to get what 100% was.